Lovely to have you here.
Thank you.
Back.
Lovely to be here again so soon.
Excellent, excellent. Peachy Pink, you were running you had a successful career in the PR industry, doing well. Why take the leap into running your own business with all that entails? What was the moment of epiphany for you?
Journalists don't like PR professionals as much as they used to.
Right.
No. Essentially, PR is all about effective communications, and I think if you can run national and international campaigns successfully for other brands and they hire in your services, then you should be able to apply that to your own business, which is basically what I did. So I'd been working in PR for about 5 years, and I'd always wanted to go into the fashion industry or clothing or something like that. And I thought, what better time to take the leap and set up on my own? Right.
And PR is absolutely fundamental to a consumer brand. Would that be the case?
Absolutely right. Once you've got a small business, I'm sure many of you here in the audience today are business owners, you have to be able to communicate what your brand is about effectively yourself, and a lot of the time, especially in this economic environment, in a cost-effective way. Advertising for a small business is very, very expensive and not necessarily often the best route to go down. When, as Matthew's mentioned already, you've got social media, you've got Twitter, you've got Facebook, and journalists often appreciate a brand going to them directly and talking to them and pitching their own story. And I think a story is really what makes a brand. Right,
okay. Now, you're not afraid of causing a fuss, and I suppose this is all part and parcel of it, isn't it? I mean, if you're a new business, you don't have, marketing teams developing your brand, you don't have big advertising agencies working for you, so you've got to do the shocking, surprising things. I know that you got 50 scantily clad models onto Bond Street, which did well as a PR exercise for you. Tell us a bit about that.
It really did. When we initially launched, as any small business setting up, in the first few months, you have to watch your budgets and you have to do eye-catching things that capture as much media attention as possible, costing as little as possible effectively. And in our case, our models were wearing as little as possible too. For us, being an underwear brand, we thought, okay, what better way to showcase our brand than have underwear models obviously wearing it. But it was a very cold December day. It started snowing and 50 women took to Bond Street in just Peachy Pinks and, of course, tops as well.
And were you included in that 50?
maybe another time, not that time. So we did that, and then the following day we made every national red top newspaper, and effectively all we paid was the cost of the models and the cost of the product itself. We got it onto LK Today, and the department store that we were in exclusively at the time sold out within 2 days. Right. And based on that one stunt, we got inquiries in from, I think, about 15 countries worldwide that wanted to sell our product, that wanted to repeat the stunt that we'd done and effectively help grow our brand. Mm.
Do you think there's a danger sometimes with consumer brands like yours, and especially new ones, that the entrepreneurs, the leaders of those businesses can begin to think that PR is the currency that they deal in and actually take their eye off the fact that you've got to sell some pants?
I mean, for me, I think it was very different because my background was PR and I'd come from that environment. But I think now I've had to learn to let go, because you can't run a business, be the PR director, be the account manager, oversee your operations and, do everything. So you have to let go and get PR agencies in and PR specialists. And I think sometimes entrepreneurs are in danger of trying to do everything, and there does come a point when your business grows that you do have to let go a little bit.
I was thinking, though, that the thrill of seeing your brand and all the awareness, I mean, there's no doubt it's great, but the principle, the first priority for anybody running their own business is to make sure that, the sales are coming in, that each month you're able to pay the wages, etc., etc. It would be very easy to get your head turned by the celebrity culture and the PR culture around a consumer brand, wouldn't it?
Absolutely. I think it depends on the individual running the business as well. I mean, it's great to get celebrity advocates for your brand. When we launched our menswear brand, we had Peter Andre launch it for us. And we've had people like Amanda Holden wear our pants, Lorraine Kelly, Christine Bleakley. So we've got a good sort of media following. But of course, you can't get carried away with things like that. You know, I read in one of the papers a while ago that apparently Beyonce and Katy Perry had got hold of Peachy Pinks, which is great, but you can't always, you know, think that's just one fleeting moment, for example. So you couldn't go, right, okay, let's just run with that. You've got a business to run, and all these things are great in themselves. But I think as a small business, you need to effectively think about the best way to communicate your brand message and get clear in your own mind what that is, because PR is a great, great way of helping to grow a small business.
I know you're a very positive person and entrepreneurs are naturally optimistic, but I'm going to ask you to identify any mistakes that you might have made, especially around in this side about gaining media attention, because it is very easy, you know, especially with naturally energetic, active people. They try lots and lots of stuff. You must have made some mistakes, or is there anything in this PR side that you think actually we pushed it a bit far?
Well, I like to think of them as learning curves rather than mistakes.
Right. I thought you were going to say that.
And we've had a lot of learning curves. Right. Obviously, you know, sometimes you can get carried away. And one of the things that we really wanted to do as a brand was, you know, jump on the viral bandwagon. And obviously having, you know, a men's underwear brand and a ladies' underwear brand, and the things that we could do were great. And we did a couple of virals that got an awful lot of hits. But by the end of the day, I'd felt a little bit like I may have directed a soft porn video. Right. So I thought, maybe let's not repeat these again. And they were really good fun to do. But, you know, you can, as a brand, you can get carried away. And it's important to realise when you do that. We're just in the middle of a rebrand at the moment. We're keeping our names, which are great, but we've realised to expand into different international markets, particularly America, it's really sort of obvious to us right now that Britain and London are the best brands that we have as British entrepreneurs. And Peachy Pink, you know, one of the things that we did when we launched, we didn't play upon that, but that again is a learning curve. So, you know, we've learned that Britain has a very strong brand identity internationally, and that can help grow our business. So effectively, based on that, we're rebranding and we'll be relaunching the two brands next month.
Great, great. Some positive news. Excellent. A final question, and then we'll ask Rob and Jonathan and Louise to come up. You also stood as a parliamentary candidate in Lee at the last election. You must have learned some lessons about public relations via your, you know, early political career. What differences between gaining media attention as a business person, entrepreneur, and how you have to handle the media in politics?
You have to be a little bit more conservative when you're handling the media in politics rather than when you're talking about your underwear, obviously. But, you know, I tried to separate the two at the beginning. I ran against Andy Burnham, who was the health minister at the time, who was a great opponent. But obviously journalists do want to marry the two. You know, I've got an underwear brand and I'm going into politics. So, of course, pants and politics was the natural thing for them to put together. And at the beginning, I fought it a little bit, but then I got so much good coverage. Regional coverage is obviously really important when you're running for any political seat or anything like that. And, you know, we got some really good front pages and they were using pictures of, you know, our underwear models. And, you know, it allowed us to talk about politics. It just opened the door. And I think a lot of the time, getting coverages about whether it's political or business or anything else is giving journalists an interesting hook, effectively, to talk about something a little bit, you know, out of the ordinary. And that's what we did. And we got a good result in Lee.
Great.
And I was really proud of it.
Great. And just finally, your aspirations for Peachy Pink. I mean, what could it be in 5 years' time?
Gosh, that's always difficult to answer. I mean, as I've said already, we're rebranding, and PR will always play a really big part in the brand. We're launching 4 new brands, sub-brands, under Peachy Pink. And, you know, the aim is just to continue using PR to grow the business. We sell in 35 countries already internationally, and that number is growing month on month, and we're really proud of what we're doing. So grow the business, you know, as large as possible. Get one of those Real Business magazine front pages.
Excellent. Yeah. Well, it's great, and quite obviously we need more businesses, not innovative, creative businesses, but really importantly, that are selling overseas. So it's a great story, and you know, we wish you all success. So thank you, Shazia. Thank you very much.